And hello, welcome everybody for another Hairy Man movie night. So glad you guys could be here tonight. We are, let's see, what are we at right now? About 10 people watching. That's good enough for me. Good enough for me. And I'm sure people will be joining us here and there to see what's going around. But so excited for tonight, Ivan Marx. And it's going to be a good one. It's the 1976 Ivan Marx Legend of Bigfoot enhanced extended cut of the controversial documentary. Okay. So it's supposed to have some new stuff on there. So we shall see. Okay. It might be the one everybody's watching, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So 18. What'd you say? 18. Whoa, it just jumped up big time, didn't it? Well, people know they're gonna come, you know, after it starts, after all my shenanigans at the beginning. I'm gonna have more too. But it's okay. It's okay. So I hope you all have your snacks and you made your way to the concession stand beforehand so you won't be interrupting anybody. I moved and there goes the dang. I told Enzo to fix my camera, but dang it. Did it fix? I don't know. It might not. But we'll see if I get up. Fix already. Oh my goodness. Enzo. Gotta always blame Enzo. Oops, you're gonna see my my notes for the next show. Oh, let's see if I can get this sucker to focus on me or not. There she goes. There she goes. She's temperamental. She's like me. Anyway, I got my box of treats ready for tonight. All I had, honestly, was this P3 protein thingy, okay, and a rum and coke. But it's so cute. My daughter made me a little pack with all kinds of stuff I can't eat. So I'll probably be having the popcorn and my little protein thing. But it was cute. And look at that ginormous cookie for Mother's Day. What's that? Oh, look, it's a granola bar and some shortbread cookies. And what's over here? Oh, some cheese and crackers, those little things. And some chips. Oh, I'm set. I'm ready to go. For sure. How about you all? Let's see who we've got. Who's in the chat? Who's here? So everybody stand up. So, oh my gosh, I have to go scroll way back. Grasshopper was the first one in? Whoa. Then Uncle Bones. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here, John Ayers. There's my salt man. And Val, good to see you. Trackway, Sasquatch Wizard. It's going to be a good one. Glad you guys are here to watch. Where's Jen? Did Jen have to work? Oh, no, Jen's not working. She's recuperating. Where's Jen? Somebody call Jen. Quick. Tell her we're starting. Sandra, good to see you. Enzo, there's my buddy Enzo. Who else? If I missed you, I'm sorry. But Leon, there's Leon. Let's see if I can catch anybody else new. 1967. Did I say 67 or 76? Did I get dyslexic? Which is it? Where's my notes? Oh, and of course that one doesn't say what it is. It's one of the two. I think. Which one is it? The banner said 76 or 67. I don't remember. I can't go to it right now. How about we just watch it and see what happens? Then I'll figure it out in the middle of the show. If I got dyslexic, I'm sorry. But I think it was 76. I may have made a mistake. So, now it's Bigfoot time travel movie. Yeah, it's a Bigfoot travel time movie. Hey, I aim to please here. Okay, so you guys ready to start the show? It's another hour and 25 minutes, so we'll take a mid intermission right in the middle there, and hopefully I can get that timer thing to work. And let's start the show. Where's the button? Here we go. 'It starts out scary. Look out, Leon. So 1975, so it was 1976. Obsession. Ooh, I thought it stopped for a second there. Oh, that was a lot of rum.
My name is Ivan Marx. The film you're about to see is authentic. It records the last 10 years, which has changed my life. I stumbled on something that I could not believe at first, but soon realized it had significance on me and everyone around me, which could not be ignored or underestimated. The Eskimos call the subject of my story Bushman. The Colville Indians of upstate Washington call him Sasquatch. The U.F.O.s of Northern California call him Oma. But right now, let's just call him Bigfoot.
Did I turn it on too loud? Is it too loud for you guys? Oh, that
This
music
is my
changed weird.
country. I've spent all my life in areas like this, as close to the animals as a man can get. I built my home here. Bear Ranch. Of course, I'm prejudiced, but I think it's just about the prettiest place I've ever seen. Then there's Peggy. She's a rare woman. She's the only woman I know who'd put up with the animals I used to bring home, like those coyote pups, and raise them just like they were her own.
He was the only one that could fit into the suit, though.
Yeah. We've shared more ups and downs than there are in the High Sierra. Those were good days. Simple, clear cut. You see, I'm a tracker. And believe me, I'm the last of a vanishing breed. I know tracks, like the FBI knows fingerprints. I specialized in renegades, killers of livestock, and sometimes people. I didn't kill for sport. I went after the right animals so innocent ones might be spared.
Okay.
I learned trapping from my dad's shoulders back in Illinois. Since that time, I've worked for the government, territory, sheriff's office, federal game warden. When they had a renegade, they knew who to call. There was a time me and the dogs got called up all the way to Kodiak, Alaska. There'd been reports that bear had been killing the cattle. Now I know bear, and the Kodiak happens to be one of the most beautiful on God's earth. Takes a lot of grub to feed him. 9 feet tall, up to a ton in weight. No need for him to be killing cattle, though. He's as fine a fisherman as you'll ever see. The ranchers were getting $5,000 bounties on these so-called cow killers. So I moved in to set things straight. I met a rancher who said it ain't Kodiak killing my cattle. I finally found someone I could talk to. He said, Bigfoot. Straight-faced as could be. He said Bigfoot's been killing my cattle. Bigfoot? I checked the carcass and saw the cow had died naturally. The bears just fed on its remains. Found out after the grass was waterlogged. Not enough protein. Cattle died of malnutrition. Kodiak. Bigfoot. People always want their questions answered in such neatly wrapped little packages. Well, I'd heard about Bigfoot. Some abominable snowman who'd wandered across the Bering Strait before the Ice Age. I couldn't believe a grown man would tell me a Bigfoot was killing him. What a bunch of hogwash. I didn't mind at all putting distance between me and those crazies in Alaska. And it felt good to be with some sensible folks like Peggy's brother. An Arizona university wanted us to track down a javelina hog for research. It's a small critter, but vicious. Well, I told my brother-in-law about the wild Bigfoot story at Kodiak, but he didn't respond as I'd expected. He said, "Don't be so quick to make judgments. There's something I want you to see." He took me to what Indians called the land of petrified wood. There, carved in rock, were drawings of a creature with big hands and big feet, exactly as I had heard Bigfoot described. The drawings were 700 years old. They told how creatures the Indians called stickmen had come in the night and stolen the Indian children. The Indians abandoned the village in fear. First the ranchers, now my brother-in-law. My head was reeling with Bigfoot. The stories are just so many words. So I soon forgot about them, till I was up tracking a mountain lion. And I found these tracks. Now, they looked much like human footprints, but they were 18 inches long, 6.5 across the ball of the foot, 5.5 at the heel. They were the hugest I'd ever seen. Tracks were so deep, they had to have been made by at least a 500-pound animal. And the hair, I couldn't identify it. The toe prints were spread around small rocks and dug into the earth, showing whatever made them could cover pretty rugged country. And the stride was enormous, 52 inches in length. Man's only 30. Now, they were fakes. Somebody would have had to drag a pretty big machine over pretty rough country to make them, and they would have left their own tracks. I saw where a creature had stumbled. It was a handprint, but no sign of claws. It was so manlike. I was mystified, so I made plaster casts and sent them with the hair to a lab for analysis. Well, I tell you, I was glad to get home. Our pups were growing, and they didn't give us much time to think about everything that had happened. I was called to chase a renegade bear up north. This time, I wasn't so eager to return to the mountains. Tests had shown the hair samples and tracks couldn't be matched with any known animal. I was uncomfortable. The animals were even acting strange. I soon found out why. I found the bear I was looking for, but not in the condition I expected. Another track, just as I'd seen on the mountain. there, between its teeth, the hair. I was astounded. A 600-pound bear that had stood 8 feet tall, lying by the side of the creek, with its neck broken. Now, I wanted to find out everything I could about Bigfoot. I advertised for any information or leads. You can't believe the number of stories people had to tell. My friends laughed at them all. Okay, I'd laugh too. But things were different now. I had to figure out what was fact and what was fiction. There were reports of creatures 12 feet tall, 800 pounds, that prowled on 2 feet. Now that's absurd, scientifically impossible. No creature that size or weight could even stand upright. And as for tracks, you can't imagine the number of kids I found running around the woods making plywood fakes. Tales of hunters being ripped apart, campers kidnapped and never heard of again. But 4 features all the reports shared were the dark hair, the domed head, the large footprints, and the glowing red eyes.
At least that one looks better than
Nature's my home.
the last movie.
How could some missing link be wandering around up here without me knowing it? Oh, it was good to get back in the mountains and visit a couple of my pets. I tried not to think about Bigfoot, but it was tough to shake. It wasn't 2 minutes before my friend had vanished in the wood. Well, I set out after him, but I couldn't find him anyplace. I came to a bridge, and there beside it, another track. Fresh. My legs were moving before I realized what I was doing. I couldn't believe what I'd seen. I had to get a closer look. Nauseating, musky odor made it difficult to breathe. But I had to find out what I'd seen. It was getting dark. Time was growing short. I'd seen Bigfoot. What the hell was I doing? I was here alone, without a rifle, without anyone knowing where to find me. With a 500-pound, 8-foot tall vicious creature. I had to get out of here, get some help. I had to show people what I'd seen. The footprints. It was just the cat. I'd never been so scared in my life. But my friends couldn't laugh now. Wait till they saw the traps. But the rains came and washed the tracks away.
Oh, darn.
Hurry, get your Bigfoot burger, 2 burgers.
Now, people's attitudes towards Bigfoot made me mad. I'd seen it. Matter of fact, I felt I'd been singled out to find it. Where do you begin? Jackson Hole, Wyoming. A suspicious set of tracks. I really thought I was onto something. Over 500 on the side of a mountain. The tracks are funny things. The smallest print can melt, freeze, get snowed over. And before you know it, it's gigantic. Here, the supposed Bigfoot was a little old coyote. The redwoods, an endless source of sightings. If this creature were here, where did it hide? I searched in the caves formed by the roots of the ancient trees. Here were perfect shelters, large, dark, secluded, hideaways to recover from injuries. Refuge for many forest animals from the elements. Protected privacy when
Ew, he
giving
wasn't
birth.
tasting the snow.
Hundreds of tree caves, but no tracks, bones, or unusual droppings. No clues at all. I had to be wasting my time. But there was a statue carved in redwood. Its image was based on hundreds of sightings collected over the years. And it was exactly like the creature I had seen myself. Oregon
That
coast.
scared me.
Reports of Bigfoot feeding during the run of the nightfish. The shore was secluded. Food was plentiful. It seemed a perfect place for the secretive Bigfoot. So I waited. You don't know what it is to wait till you've been a tracker. Finally, a gull came with the first sign of the run. And right behind it, you've never seen so many fishermen. My secluded beach turned into Coney Island. Only way Bigfoot could show up here was wearing swimming trunks. one bum steer after another. How was I supposed to know which lead to follow? I was running out of time, and I was running out of money. As we left, I felt like the waves were laughing at our backs. Then came our hottest tip yet. We couldn't turn it down. Snowbird warned us of an upcoming storm, but I was too excited and ignored it. The area was rich with wildlife. And why not Bigfoot? Plenty of food, plenty of cover. This time, remote from man. There it was. My efforts had paid off. And this time, I was ready for it. I wasn't ready to find out it was just a bear staying up past its winter bedtime. What was happening to me? Any Boy Scout knows how people's eyes play tricks on them in the woods. I was like a gun-happy hunter that makes a 10-foot grizz out of a charred old tree stump. Even the snowbird was laughing. And why shouldn't it? Here I was, a grown man running around the woods chasing some fairy tale. I felt like a fool. Well, I was out of patience, and I was out of money, so I took a job up in the wilderness around Bossburg, Washington. Had to photograph a cinnamon bear in its natural habitat. You want a bear? Here's a bear. Piece of cake. I always got what I said after. Except Bigfoot. Then I saw it. A deformed version of the track I'd seen so often. There it was. Finally, face to face with Bigfoot.
There she goes.
Here was the domed head, just as others had described it. The thick, dark fur to protect it from extremes of weather and allow it to pass unnoticed in the night. I saw it, photographed it, but scientists challenged my film. Yet it stood up under every conceivable test. Some revealed rugged terrain as the cause of the skinned heels, polio as the cause of the limp. But my documented evidence wasn't good enough for the experts. Experts who still ask, how could such a creature survive? Where does it live? Show us its remains. What does it eat? Experts who challenged my word but claimed credit for my film and profited by it on lecture circuits. Well, I didn't care for these people. But I was haunted by their questions. What an experience. Now I had to start finding some answers. The creature's tracks disappeared at the edge of a beaver swamp. Only sign of animal life was the geese migrating north for the summer. I wanted the satisfaction of bringing back unchallengeable proof. Still, where to begin? I found several other creatures had passed through the area, all heading north. Could Bigfoot be a migratory animal? I plotted all the reliable reports. actually seemed to be a migratory pattern extended over thousands of miles. If this were true, I'd have some means of predicting the creature's movements and a good chance to find some answers to my questions. Bigfoot always stayed in very rocky mountains and isolated terrain. The greatest number of sightings, and the only ones of the Bigfoot young, were in summer, above the Arctic Circle. Could that be where Bigfoot migrated to breed? If I move rapidly, I might find a clue before season's end. Peg and I took our camera and planned to document every step we took. The lava beds, Modoc, California. If Bigfoot were a migratory animal, my theory had to hold up all along the way. A track, centuries old, preserved in the lava. My theory was working. But I wondered how Bigfoot survived the violent eruptions that brought the lava rock. As usual, nature provided me clues. I saw these two little ground squirrels so much in love they took no notice of me or the dangers around them.
I don't think I want to see what's coming up. Is it over? Is it over? Dude didn't have to put that in there. Did not have to put that in there. The deer will save him? What are you talking? What? Oh, I don't want to say that. I just thought that big thing was going to come down. The big vulture was, eagle, whatever it is, going to come down and get it.
The male's natural instincts drove him to cover. These same instincts started up in the wounded squirrel. creature was reminding me of her basic law: survival. This same will to survive must have somehow kept Bigfoot going throughout all these years. But where did the creature go if it were injured? The caves, Mount Lassen. The Hat Creek Indians believed they were inhabited by an evil ape man. Now I was hot. Every step along the way brought me new clues. It's too late in the season to find the creature here now. But I'd soon catch up with him above the Arctic Circle. Peg and I found the people up north different. They encouraged me, took my search seriously. Like the lumberjacks, mountain men, like myself. The first into the midst of the wilderness, which meant first with stories of Bigfoot. Most of their sightings came at the time of year I'd anticipated. They were sure when Bigfoot passed because strange happenings followed in a nearby valley. Herds of goats come and perform a ritual suicide. Sure enough, the goats were there, looking as if they were grazing normally, but actually eating pounds of dirt. With one gulp of water, the earth turns to cement, and they die, lying in the shadow of Bigfoot, etched in rock 26 feet high, and the wolf, his only known traveling companion. What went on in this valley Bigfoot passed through went against all the natural laws of survival. And the rock formations, too massive to have been shaped by man, presented another, totally unexplainable, natural phenomena. To those who cried, for Bigfoot to exist goes against every bit of scientific data known to man, I could now say how much more there is to know. I felt close to the adventurers who'd left their calling cards at Watson Lake as they crossed into the Yukon, and even closer to those who'd made a similar journey at the turn of the century, who set out after something they didn't know where to find, but knew was out there someplace. With so many pouring into the Yukon during the gold rush, it's no surprise there'd be such a rich source of stories about Bigfoot. For the first time in my life, I understood what made people like that tick. It's more than gold. I guess we all need a frontier to explore. Don't necessarily have to go off into it. just makes you feel kind of good knowing it's there. Thousands of these people came from everywhere. Tent cities sprung up where no man had ever even walked. If Bigfoot came here to keep clear of man, its seclusion didn't last for long. Such a rich source of information had to bring new leads. Sure enough, an old miner's story told how the glaciers up there were the burial grounds of the Bigfoot. That would explain why there were no remains. The creatures carried their dead over thousands of miles just to deposit them in crevices that opened up in the spring fall. Can you imagine? I went there searching for some remains. I did find tracks, so I had to be close. I found bones that told many different stories, but none of Bigfoot. The constant movement of the glaciers could either crush the remains or wash them to the sea. Burial grounds of the Bigfoot. I thought of the people who were the source of these stories. Their friends called them crazy. And some of them might have been. But you wouldn't believe the extremes they went to for their fortunes, romance, and the unexplored. I guess it wasn't so tough to believe Bigfoot could have gone to similar extremes for a far more instinctive, basic drive, as burying his dead. So many questions. Well, I sure understood what drove those miners as they sailed up the river in pursuit of gold. For I'd soon ride the same river in pursuit of Bigfoot.
There we go. It always gets stuck when I go to put pause. So that's our break, you guys. Good show. It's going good, but very violent and very nature violence. I didn't put a warning in the description for that. So yeah, didn't know that. But see you guys back here in 5. And we're back, folks. Take your seats, and we shall get started again.
The miners were gone now. But I knew Bigfoot had to still be around. The frequency of current sightings meant he'd somehow survive the diseases.
I'm
the
going to
white
warn you
man
all,
brought
my
into the
internet
wild.
is fluctuating right now.
The tuberculosis, measles,
Something happens, I'll just try to get back on,
that
okay?
wiped
Just hang out.
whole tribes of Indians and Eskimos.
Okay, it's back. Whew.
He'd even survived the violence reaching out from the boomtowns. Now I understood why Bigfoot steered clear of man. He had to, in order to survive. However vicious the creature might be, I gained a lot of respect for the elusive Bigfoot and its ability to endure. But if we were to find it, we'd have to get to the furthest outpost of civilization. When we ran out of road, we saw the remnants of the old pioneers giving way to the machinery of the new. Thousands were now pouring back up to the new gold rush for the black gold, oil. How much longer could Bigfoot avoid all these people? Where would he go next? I gambled on him heading north. Well, traveling had been tough, so we treated ourselves to the fanciest hotel in town. There, Yukon
Sourdough in.
sketches
Welcome,
were based
everybody.
on recent sightings and descriptions of Bigfoot from that very area. As we started our journey up the river, I thought of the statues and drawings I'd seen in Arizona, California, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, the Yukon, and now above the Arctic Circle. All of them resembling the very creature I saw myself. They were too similar, over too vast an area to be coincidental. But these images weren't good enough for the experts below. I still had a lot of questions to answer. There were no grocery stores up here, so we ate off the land or purchased fish from the Eskimos. I knew I could get my answers from these people, because stories of Bigfoot were as plentiful as the food. One man told of the strange day his mother died. In a cabin like this, family and friends gathered to await the passing of her spirit. That night, they heard a soft scratch at the door. There was Bigfoot, chanting in a strange tongue. Everyone was terrified. The spirit of his mother was speaking through the voice of Bigfoot. They must abandon their homes, which they did. The next day, an ice floe changed the river, and waters now flow where the village once stood. I asked to see this area, hoping for a sign of Bigfoot. The man said, if you wish to see the king of the animals, he breeds in the mating grounds of the Alaskan moose. The moose came as if a sign, reaffirming the man's words. Up the river by a salmon wheel, A lone Eskimo greeted us with the words, "Bigfoot is not here." How did he know what we were after? He told a tale about a trapper who killed a creature in the early 40s, bringing the wrath of Bigfoot down upon his people. He said, "One night I was caught out on the trail with only a few minutes of twilight left. The lights began to shine in the sky. They were bright. Traveling was good. Then the snow turned red. To the north and south, east and west, rivers of blood flowed across the sky and down into the snows. It seemed to be the last day of the world. Bigfoot was punishing us for bringing it sorrow. But then, the good white light rose from the north. What followed was a battle of 1,000 warriors. The white light was the spirit of Bigfoot, left to die by the trapper. It returned in the form of a white raven to protect us from the red wrath of its grieving brothers. If you travel the river, you may see him. And if you do, he will bring you luck. Then the native gasped, pointing to a bird soaring above us. The legendary white raven. The fisherman said, "Bigfoot smiles upon you. You will bring word of him to the people below." Mine was reeling. At the next village, the natives were waiting for us. They had heard about the white raven and wanted to show us their secret, sacred figure. Here it was again. They told us how Bigfoot was their friend. Their friend? How did they think such a violent creature could be their friend? They told how Bigfoot always carried the bodies of men killed, lost in the Arctic winter to the edge of the nearest village to be buried by their own kind. When I asked where I could make contact with their friend, they said, "In the land of shining eyes." But they warned me not to violate Bigfoot's domain. I reminded them of the white raven, so they taught me a chant to sing on the night of the full moon and promised I would see the glowing eyes of Bigfoot.
For a second there, I thought it was Brent or Tristan banging on the drum.
Well, I wasn't going to have a thing to do with any chanting. So I set up walkie-talkies 300 yards from the tent to monitor any movements on the tundra during the night. At the first sound, I'd have a jump on the creature. Then the wait. The land was lush with vegetation, a perfect feeding ground. Berries, lichen, gnats, bugs, millions of fish. not just a land of ice and snow. I understood why Bigfoot and so many animals flocked to the Arctic to breed, raise their young. But this land was strangely silent. Where were the animals? My transmitter had been thrown 15 feet, and the tundra held no tracks. Days passed. I felt like a fool, but now I'd go to any ends to conjure up the creature. Soon Peg saw what she thought were two car lights approaching. I was caught in the darkness, but Peg guided me toward the lights. I had to find out what it was. We realized they were the shining eyes. This time, I couldn't let Bigfoot escape. But dawn broke, and it disappeared behind a rainbow. This was too much. I felt like I was coming apart at the seams. Here I was, an experienced mountain man all my life, acting like a spooked tenderfoot. I still had 1,000 questions.
Tenderfoot.
And so few answers. I couldn't concentrate. My head was spinning with tall tales and folklore. I no longer knew what to believe. I had to get away from the others and be by myself. There were the salmon, back after 10 years of living in the sea, to spawn in the exact place of their birth, and then to die. They reminded me of those I'd seen at Kodiak, in the days when I was a pure tracker, stuck to nature's signs and wasn't so confused with all the legends and stories of man. And there were geese. My first clue to Bigfoot's migratory pattern. I began to feel close to nature again. I knew that's where I'd find the answers to my questions. And the caribou, catching velvet off their antlers, release swamp gas from the tundra to glow in the night. Then I saw what must have been the monarch of the North. I was terrified. It could crush the likes of me with one swoop. But it was the most magnificent animal I think I've ever seen. He didn't seem to notice me as he made a clearing. He sharpened his horns as if to prepare for combat. I thought he'd come for me now. Instead, he dug a pit and marked it with his scent. This attracted cows from all over the area and seemed to warn other bulls to keep away. The cows declared themselves his by covering themselves with his scent. I'd made it. The mating grounds of the Alaskan moose, where no man had ever been before, and possibly the breeding grounds of Bigfoot. Some young bulls seemed a little overeager and found the monarch defending his territory against all intruders, while others waited for the right moment to move in. Then he saw me. But luckily, a match for the monarch challenged him for his cows and territory. Those who'd waited now moved in. While the bulls were fighting, nature made sure there'd be a good crop of calves come spring. Finally, the monarch triumphed. Now, too preoccupied to give any notice to me, he gathered his cows. And according to the law of nature, the strongest began to breed. I was deeply moved by what I'd seen, but still, no sign of Bigfoot. The salmon lay dying in the streams, signaling the end of the breeding season. Time was running out, so we took to the air. The Arctic winter could close us in at any moment, so we had to move fast. Why couldn't I find this creature? Was my theory wrong? When I saw the expanse of space below, I laughed. Anything could be out there. They'd found Stone Age men in New Zealand. There were prehistoric fish being pulled out of the Persian Sea. My God, a primitive man walked out of the mountains 70 miles from the capital of California. There's so much territory yet to be explored. We found undiscovered wrecks of men who tried to break into this wilderness and were never heard of again. I couldn't think of the risks. Everything I believed in was on the line. Suddenly, the pilot whipped around. There he was, a young Bigfoot, frozen like a tree. We raced back to the river, but he slipped away. Seeing the young Bigfoot confirmed my theory. I could now roughly predict the creature's movements. The crew celebrated the sighting, but it wasn't enough for me. I knew I needed to document Bigfoot's habits. The young Bigfoot's tracks led me from the river to a lush meadow. He'd passed through a herd of grazing muskox. I wondered what Bigfoot fed on. Maybe he ate vegetation too. Or fish. I'd seen him by a river. Of course, he could have been cleaning himself. Or drinking. Of course, he could be a predator. One of these oxen had lasted him half the winter. Bigfoot's behavior still held many mysteries. But now it was just a matter of time before I solved them. Sun up. Yeah, early start. Winter now closed down on us in earnest. We were forced to move south, just like the animals. The caribou gathered for their migration. They'd be the source of food for all the meat-eating animals that followed. If Bigfoot were a meat-eater, he'd feed on caribou too. If I could prove that he did, I'd have a clue to the place he held in nature. If I could film it, I'd have the kind of documentation the experts demanded. Whatever his habits, I knew the road would be paved with danger. Devastated by the slaughter of the caribou. I kept thinking of Bigfoot and its migration. It had to be protected. It could be wiped out before I had a chance to study it. But how could I get protection for something so few believed existed? I needed that unchallengeable proof I'd first set out for. There was no sign of Bigfoot with the caribou. It must eat vegetation or fish. The perfect place. Beaver Swamp in the spring. I got there early and planned to stay as long as I could. I used every trick I learned over my years as a trapper and carefully covered my scent with ammonia. Beaver Swamp. The geese. If my theory was right, Bigfoot would follow shortly. I searched for the perfect place to set up a blind. When I found it, I moved in and set up my cameras. Day after day, I waited and soon grew jealous of the other animals' freedom. I was stiff, chilled to the bone, but I was determined not to make a move that might warn Bigfoot of my presence. What if he didn't come? Then a movement in the woods. The sun hadn't come up yet. It was hard to make out what I'd seen at first. Bigfoot, standing no more than 100 yards from my blind. I began to shake all over. I could barely keep hold of my camera. He was awesome. Then, behind me, another one, smaller, possibly younger. How many of them were there? Was I surrounded? They were the most extraordinary creatures I'd ever seen. I now knew why the Eskimos called Bigfoot the king of the animals. The older, larger one was 7 feet tall, 450 to 500 pounds. His domed head and long dark hair, just like the other creatures I'd seen. His odor was overwhelming, the same thick, musky scent that first led me to Bigfoot so long ago. The young one was no more than 5.5 feet tall, 250 pounds. If my guess was right, probably on its first trip away from its northern breeding grounds. He'd probably never seen a man before. If he saw me, he could panic and attack. Then I looked around and realized the other animals were carrying on normally. If danger was around, they would have fled. Just as the Eskimos had said, Bigfoot is a benevolent creature. It doesn't even attack or feed on other animals. It seems to eat only vegetation or sometimes fish. Here it was before me, pulling up the tender swamp grass with its hands. Remarkable huge hands that seemed capable of grasping, scooping up drinking water, and splashing to rid itself of parasites. I'd done it. Here I was again with Bigfoot. Unchallengeable proof my theory had worked. It is a migratory animal, and I now have the documentation of its habits I needed. Now we can begin to understand the place this creature holds in nature. A raccoon came out to start his day's hunting. I knew the nocturnal Bigfoot would soon return to the cover of the forest.
I'm gonna get 15
I once
musical
again said
copyrights
goodbye
on
to
this
this
one.
mysterious creature that has somehow outlived its natural role, endured the tests of time, now left to wander the land elusively with a strange will to survive. Oh, I still have plenty of questions, and I'll continue my search for the answers now. But I assure you, I'll no longer get so caught up in the problems of my research, but I'll lose touch with the wonders it reveals.
Is that all she wrote? We gotta wait and see. There might be more at the end of this. Because I show a good 10 minutes left. So let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah, why do you do that for me? Jesus. I wasn't expecting that. Is that it for real? Yeah, stop. I'm like, let me see. No, there's still more. No, that's it. That is it. How do I get out of here? Boom. What do you guys think? Jeff Harding was in the credits. Whoa. Almost lost you guys. So I'm putting the link in the chat for 20 minutes. And we can chat about it. It was good, but I think Enzo had it right. It was really the whole thing was like B-roll of nature stuff. And his wife in the suit. So I guess that there wasn't any. I looked at it real fast. There wasn't anything else. Yeah, I do. I remember a lot of it, so I might have seen it. I remember the end part, so I might have started it and thought this is boring as crap and stopped watching it, which I do that a lot. I've even walked out of movie theater if I don't like it. So next week, what do you guys want to watch? I think we need to do something not Bigfoot. I'm gonna get my list out of the ones I've found so far. Okay. So Bigfoot wise, I still have Sasquatch, the Legend of Bigfoot, the Legend of Boggy Creek, the Ape Man, Snow Beast, and I have 1994 episode 7 of Encounters called Bigfoot. So we've got that. Or we could watch The Night of the Comet. Do you remember that in 1984? Where the comet comes and everybody turns to zombies. So, and I've got Charlie Chaplin. Did I find any Charlie Chaplins? Let me see. I can look it up real quick. Oops. But that's not the name. So Charlie Chaplin. Let's see what we got. Let's look here for Charlie Chaplin. And we have got yes, we do have a lot of them actually. Woo! 1914, 1916. Oh, there's a colorized version of a 1914 Charlie Chaplin's Mabel's Married Life. It looks cool colorized though. Did somebody pop in? Oh, it's Enzo.
Who else would it be? No colorized versions of anything. We need the original format.
Oh, I like the colorized version. I love it. Technicolor too. Oh my goodness. I used to love Technicolor. I used to love watching Elvis Presley in Technicolor. For sure.
You just wanted to see him shake his hips.
Absolutely. I did. You are correct. Keystone Cops. So Charlie Chaplin wise, there is a lot. So we can definitely throw some in there. What if I put in 19 what do we want? 1960s horror? Nightmare movies. What is that? Oh, it disappeared. I clicked the button and now it's gone. I don't know what it was.
I'm really surprised that Night of the Comet is in that film repository that you have there. That's
I know. I was too. That's why I wrote it down. It might not be on this one, but I found different websites. We got a lot of Boris Karloff's.
Okay.
Oh, Blood, The Last Vampire.
Who's that? Who's good in that one?
It does not say. Oh,
I could look it up.
Shit. It is. It still doesn't say.
It's from 2009, really?
2009?
Unless there's
No,
another.
this
older
says
version.
1960s Japan.
Because
Yeah, this is a Japanese movie.
Okay, this 2009 one must be a remake of also from
Mm.
Japan. So these are Japanese vampires. Wow.
Whoa, Japanese vampire. What do we got? The She Beast. What is that? She Beast, 1966. Topic. Oh, Transylvania witches horror. Where's the hero is a nitwit. The villagers are revolting. The monstrous is the real victim. The fast-paced end sequence looks like they were in a hurry to get this over with. That's what it said.
That's She Beast?
Bad. Reviews say bad, really bad. And then one guy gave it a 3 stars saying something about the download. Somebody else popped in, didn't they? Oh!
Talk about
It's Uncle Bones!
Hey.
Hello!
Hey.
How'd you like it?
What did you think of that epic?
Well, it was all right. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Had you seen that before or heard of that before?
Yeah, I watched it before. Daily Dan showed it on his channel there last year one time. I watched most of it with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. He likes to put a lot of horror movies up on his horror channel there.
Yeah.
So,
and I just wanted to say colorization. I think colorization movies are great because I grew up when we had black and white TV, and when color came on, I was just blown away with it. I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, you think about it, Ellie Mae Clampett, black and white, she's awesome. Ellie Mae Clampett,
Ellie Mae,
holy moly,
oil that is.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, Jen, that sounds like a good idea. I'll get a few choices, and tomorrow I'll put them up in my community page, and we can vote on what we want to watch on Friday. Sounds good to me.
Very nice.
And one more thing, Nikki, have you seen that video where the deer saves the rabbit from the hawk?
I think somebody did send it to me.
I've sent it to you a couple times here in chat.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you'd actually watched it.
Yeah, I think that's where I saw it.
Yeah, where the deer just trumps a hawk.
Right. Oh, yeah. I remember now. I remember
that. The rabbit gets away and the hawk does not.
There's always so much death. So much death in this
Nature's metal.
That's all I got on to say. I'll see you guys later. Thank you much, both of you, and you, Enzo. Have a great evening.
You too, Uncle Bones.
Have a great weekend.
See you later.
It was nice to stop by.
Yeah, he lives on the other side of town. He lives here in El Paso.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Ooh, this is finally drinkable. Put too much rum in that baby. Oh, the bar is getting hopping back there.
Yep, there's all kinds of folks running around back there. I wonder if there's. We check the other
band.
Let's see.
Yeah, they're jamming out.
People are dancing. We got a guy on a keyboard and a person banging on the tambourine there. Oh, yeah, we got other folks. Let me get out of the way. Let's see what's going on. Whoop.
What kind of? Oh, they are drunk for sure.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Her boobies are gonna fall right out of there.
Well, we can only hope. It's not like we haven't seen enough wildlife photography in the last hour and a half. So
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. John
the
Ayers says, "Do you live in the bar, Enzo?"
it's every person's dream, isn't it? Why wouldn't I? Yeah. But the whole center section of the film, the big epic death scene of the squirrel was way over the top ridiculous. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it was way too long on that scene there. It was weird. I couldn't look at it. I didn't want to look at it anymore. I know that's nature. I get it. Everybody needs to eat, right? And everything will get consumed somehow.
Right.
I get that. I just don't want to watch it.
Getting run over by the truck as it goes by. It's like, is this going to turn into like a John Wick thing? Bigfoot's going to take revenge on the guy in the truck. And
listen, if I had to kill something to eat, I would kill it. Okay, I'm not that crazy about it. So it was just good, but I'm glad I got to watch the whole thing. I definitely remember the beginning.
Yeah, the whole thing seemed more like a travelogue montage kind of thing, like the old Wonderful World of Disney kind of thing they would have on Sundays, where like, the Bears of Yellowstone or something like that, where it was just this him working his way from Wyoming or wherever it was we started with the red slug bug there, journeying up to Alaska and
that
going on
all over
psychotropic adventures, whatever the hell that part was about. It's like, what's happening? Where did this? We took a weird turn. What's that? Where did we go here with this film?
So weird. Yeah, that little chipmunk scene could have been. They could have drugged him, and got. I don't know. Poor thing. Poor thing. Hey, Leon, how's it going?
Hey. It's going pretty good. Just thought I'd get some munchies. I thought, oh, right, I can't eat. You wouldn't have seen how many times I was talking to you out loud. Nikki, when the show was on, you would say comment. I keep saying, you're not on. She can't hear you, like, how many people think blah, 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 blah? I can't remember what the question was. And I'm thinking, I do. Or can anyone hear that? No, I just turned on my TV. I did this to the screen, what you guys are watching right now.
Yeah.
I did this to the screen of my TV to turn up the volume, or turn down the volume.
Yeah. Because it seemed really loud.
I thought,
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's that music overlap. And and so I was watching a documentary the other day, or a TV news thing the other day, and it looked just like your backdrop. I think they were panning it around the building, and totally. Like, I just started laughing. I thought that looks like Enzo's. That's I bet you. Are you in Florida? Is that where that is, or where's that at?
This is actually down in the this is down in the Virgin Islands. This is St. John's down in the Virgin Islands. Yeah. This is actually the end of the bar, because this is like my normal view that I do on the morning show. Here's the beach out here that you see. But back here is where the stage is, behind all these people that you see dancing and splashing around. And they have a different camera set up there, and that's the back wall there where the band is, and you can see all the drunk people slinging around and falling down. And
look at that guy there. Woo, baby, do it, yeah, baby, wee. Oh, and they're not. Look at that. They're on international cam. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's really.
We're
they don't even know it's there.
Anything could happen. We got to be careful, because her top definitely looked like she may have popped out of there. But so what did you think about that epic film that we just saw there?
I'm no kidding. I totally forgot about that film. I watched it a long time ago. And so to watch it was like watching it with my adult educational eyes. And I thought, I've got to take that and use it in one of my classes for teaching about the brain, how it works. Because that is the perfect example think about that. If we were back in that day, the perfect example of what the narration would be on the television, you know, that would be on your YouTube channel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Notice how many bloody animals he had. And again, the
All
distances he traveled, I kept thinking, how's this guy getting around? You know,
Yes.
like, just everywhere, you know. But I just thought it was really
Right.
fascinating.
How did he fund all that? It was like crazy.
Yeah.
He bought
totally.
miles worth of stock footage from somebody and just laid it out end to end.
Yeah. But I mean, if you were to just put 2 on the bottom for entertainment purposes, it'd be a brilliant show for its day at the time. No hoaxing because it's just entertainment. But he would have slapped on it. But because he found out he was hoaxing, the whole thing is discredited. But I mean, honestly, except I didn't see a porcupine, so maybe Christopher Noel's right. Maybe they shapeshift. Who knows? Into Sasquatches. And all those pictures. And I like the death scene of his. I like the narration of, and his friends come back to rescue him. No, his friend has come back as a squirrel to eat him. That's what his friend has come back to do. It's like, I don't want to hear that. Yeah, well, that's light. That's nature, you know. Like, it's hilarious.
And the music,
and
the music kept jumping.
Crazy. Yeah, and I thought, like, really? Why is the guy doing filler space for film with that long of a section of death? You know, and you're squinting and just like, maybe he's trying to make you willy as an audience member, and then he's going to slap you with the Sasquatch costume he had there. I don't know, but and the weird thing about it is, up to that point, it's great. Like, really, when you look at a documentary for that day and you're trying to take an audience somewhere, everything he's using for wildlife is real. We all know what elk are. He's showing all these great pictures. Then he slaps in the Sasquatch. So your brain's already primed to think this is all that. If you got kind of not quite mature enough brain emotionally for yourself, you could be definitely suckered into, oh my God, what is this for watching, mommy or daddy? Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You should be doing that maybe as a kid, but not as the adult in the room.
and that's, we have our own, like, today's perspective where we can pull stuff up and computer animation, stuff like that. But in 1976, was that when this was done? 75, 76.
76. Yeah.
Seeing this at the theater, you know, for like a 2 p.m. showing kind of thing before the main food came on, this was mind blowing. This is documented evidence. Look, it's right there. You know, it's
got the flavor of Walt Disney endorsing it. The visuals, the sound music, the narration. It's like, that's perfect. That's perfect for the North American brain back in those days. Like,
and the booming sounds all there.
It did take me.
It reminded me a lot of
what?
It reminded me a lot of the old Walt Disney kind of the Wonderful World of Disney things that they would show on Sunday,
right?
And, you know.
Well, there was somebody stuck, like you said.
Similar
some of those animals were so set up. Oops, you froze out there, or I did. Oh, I might have.
I'm not frozen.
I would love to do a show with you doing that, but I'll have a puppet, and I'll just have my head towards the screen.
You're just gonna have the camera on your.
The odd comment.
I can see you with the Cecil.
So much in those movies,
with the Cecil.
There are some YouTubers that do that.
Yeah, totally. Well, I can't be as creative as you guys are. I mean, look at Ensel's got us down in, where is it? Virgin Islands, someplace.
St. John, Virgin Islands. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, right, John. This week on Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah. You're just missing what's that French diver guy?
Jacques Cousteau.
Oh, Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah. And his ones. But I'm in memory lanes. I mean, we're so far back there. Yeah. I'm going to put up a radio overnight and keep it in my tent around rocks in the middle of the tundra, which is a well-populated thing for Sasquatch sightings. You know, they can no.
And then it's the tundra. Couldn't you just look out there and see them?
Throwing. Yeah. It was throwing 15 feet away. how do you know it was thrown 15 feet away? I'm pretty sure a little mouse or something grabbed it by the antenna and just took it away. And but I just thought this is great for teaching people about how the brain works. I mean, if you were back then in those days into Sasquatch, you'd be drinking that Kool-Aid by the gallon. Oh my God, look at all those technology things he has.
That's right.
You don't know, right? That's the thing. Like, it's funny because you did this show, and I'm working on what I'm talking about in Merit tomorrow. As I've been editing that while I was listening and watching that show, and I don't know how many times I caught myself talking to you in the movie. I just thought, I'm losing my mind. I think I need to get out more or something.
Oh well, your whole thing is going to be over so fast, and you're going to be like, "Wow, I spent so much time working on that. Now it's over."
It's that's funny when he did the walkie-talkie bit. It's like, I'm gonna take my walkie-talkie and put it down here with the giant whip antenna. And of course, every time that he did the still shot of it, being placed down on the tundra, they always had to splice in squawking radio staticky noise. It's like, isn't that going to scare off the Bigfoot? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the amount of wildlife he spent in this one trip to look for Sasquatch, I thought he'd be envious, But again, he didn't get a porcupine, so not that I can recall.
A porcupine.
They're elusive, I'm telling you. But oh my gosh, it's madness. Good though. It was fun madness. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I like these because they were therapeutic, because you could laugh and joke and just how bad it is. Because in a way, the Bigfoot community can be that bad. It's sad to say, but it can. I mean, it's like, really? Watch the show. Tell me if you buy the show. Oh, I thought that was for a movie done back in 1976. I thought it was so like today. For 2023, everything that they believe. Okay, there's my measurement right there, my baseline standard. If you really think that is, then your brain is stuck at a certain immature age that needs to move forward. You need be curious about that for yourself. I'll put it that way.
Well, let's be honest. If you were to throw this out in the theaters today, the younger folk would certainly be going, this white man's making fun of the culture of the natives in the Alaska.
Yeah.
Refer to them as Eskimos. You can't call them that anymore. They're Inuits. Just bananas, stuff like that, as they just tear it up that way.
How dare you? Yeah.
I'm offended for them. That is my job.
The Eskimos. Yeah, even though that the Inuit said to the Eskimo Edmonton Oilers that you can keep the word, not Edmonton Oilers, but the football team in Edmonton, you can keep it as Eskimo. It doesn't bother us at all. The people are supposed to offend. They're saying, no, keep it. We don't really mind you keeping it. It's part of the history tradition of the white man. What they did. So, oh my gosh. I think you should do some more like animal monster claymation movies. Those are good movies to do too. They're always fun to watch.
Claymations. What? Those were like in the early 20s?
Dinosaurs and like Sinbad the Sailor, where they had all like it's all
run by Sinbad and all those claymation things. Yeah. Gary Harryhouse and stuff. Yeah, that's classic.
Totally.
I'm sure it's here. It's just a matter of how do you search it? If you don't know the name of it. Yeah.
I can get all those names. I'll send you a link so you can look at all those type of movies. I get in my feed all the time. I keep thinking Steve from Curious Curtains watching it because him and I have kind of a taste flair for old movie, kind of cheesy movies, kind of stuff that are deep in their own special way.
I just found Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, we should say that for Halloween night, and everyone dresses up. That comes up, like that would be fun. And we can have people over to the house and say, "Hey, we're all here. There's 4 of us here."
We can all start throwing toast at the screen and stuff.
Yeah. No water towards the electronics, people at home.
Yes.
Just because there's rain in the movie
Blood
doesn't mean
Beast of Monster Island. Oh my gosh, there is tons and tons of movies on here. It's going to be hard to pick movies. They all seem really awesome.
The ones that make they're so cheesy and bad, like that one you did last week with that face of paper mache monster.
That was bad.
You can see a 3-year-old going punching the guy between the legs and going, "That's a stupid mask," and walking away pissed off.
It was so bad, though. I mean,
I know.
Wow.
But that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. That's how bad it is, unfortunately, today, too. No, I don't want to say that. It's true, though.
I still don't get like the part in there where he had the weird vision acid trip, whatever was going on there. After like the midway point when we took the intermission, it's like, what the fuck is happening? I don't even understand. Is this the same movie? We switch over to like 2001 or something real fast, and it's like, what's just crazy lights and all that stuff. It's like, what? This guy's going on a vision quest out in the tundra somehow. It's like,
is that the one just before that part of that video? It had the headlights of the car or whatever was coming towards him.
Oh yeah,
off in the distance. And is it? Was it? I know. I might have.
Sparkly eyes.
Yes.
So what did he say? It was the car. Did he just talk about funny eyes?
No, it was the creature had sparkly eyes.
Oh gosh! I thought you could see it change the tape sped up too in the eyes of the headlights of the car near the end.
Obviously, like
really quick, they're coming in.
There's obviously like bicycle reflectors that somebody was like popping up like behind the rock kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Grasshopper suggested putting a bunch of movies on my spinning board, and then we'll just at the end of
that's a good idea.
Show, then we'll spin to see what's going to come up for next week. That's a great idea, Grasshopper.
And maybe people could, for the next week, send in the names of their movies, and you can take a variety percentage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put those on the board,
send me in what you want me to look for, and we'll see if we can find it. It doesn't have to be Bigfoot content, okay? Just whatever old movie that you've seen before or have heard of and want to see. And
it'd be interesting to watch one of those. Remember online, there's that. There's a short video. There's a couple of really short videos from foreign countries like Japan, black and white films, and it shows this really big giant guy. Now that's supposed to be a movie. That'd be interesting to find that, because everyone likes to say, "Well, here's the proof of the giant." It's Japanese technology again, but that's an interesting one because it's done like in black and white, and it looks really good. It is a person, but it's the way it's done that makes it look like it's there with the smaller people. But
for sure, I think I've seen that. I want to say somewhere.
Big Japanese guy. I think they're on a harbor or something. I think there's some boats in the back. There's all these people coming between the boat and the harbor master building or something like that, and he's walking in the middle along with these other people that are down by his waist, basically. Yeah. You'll snoof it. Yeah, you can check that out too, because I don't know the whole story on that. I just found out it's some kind of fake. I'm not even sure exactly what kind of fake. I'm trying to not use the word fake anymore. Just say ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to defend ridiculous. So how do you know, Leon? I'm not going to defend ridiculousness. This is crazy. How can you say that's not? I just want to.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
No Japanese flicks. No Japanese flicks.
Oh, Grasshopper.
Start throwing
King
some
Kong,
Godzilla flicks.
Godzilla. Those are all came from Japanese clips.
All those rubber monster movies are great. I used to love those as a
Mega
kid.
Moth.
That's funny, Grasshopper.
Throughout like that whole series of like Godzilla films, there was they had like the creepy tiny twin girls that would like speak in unison and be weird. It's just creepy stuff. Yeah.
What else did people say? They said
I saw John Ayers earlier was really pushing for Them, which is post-atomic called Them, THEM.
Them.
Which is I think that's a 50s or 60s film, black and white, about giant ants.
Oh,
the army needs to come in and take care of them.
I was thinking of Wayne Shatner, Captain Kirk, on that one he did with
Kingdom of the Spiders. Kingdom of the Spiders. I remember that one.
King of the Spiders, yeah. And the whole town. Well, I don't want to give the story away in case we do it, but
yeah, don't want to ruin the 45-year-old movie or 50-year-old movie.
Yeah, I don't want to let the secret out of the bag 45 years later, heaven forbid.
What about the Blob?
That's a classic. Even the remake they did in what was it, the 80s? I actually kind of like that one because the 60s version of the Blob, it was really slow. It was somebody's strawberry preserves that were pushing through a model, and it was just really slow moving and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I always say, just walk away. It's oh my God! Just stand there and keep screaming as it keeps. 20 minutes later, it's like just.
But in the remake that they did in the 80s, the Blob was very fast. It was basically like a giant amoeba, and it was like shoot out an appendage and snack people.
Oh shoot!
And
my
it would like absorb people into it, and you could see them like dissolving inside of it. It was super gross. But
that reminds me. How about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the black and white one, the original one?
Ah, yes. The pod people. Yeah, those are some old classics.
It always freaked me out seeing that dog with the person head on it.
Between that and The Fly, where you had the transposed body parts, kind of a thing. That always creeped me out seeing that as a kid. Help me!
Help me! Yeah, at the very, very end. Oh.
Yeah, that was the line of all lines for generation. Help me! That scared the crap out of me as a kid watching that segment.
For sure.
Sorry, I'm trying to be loud.
Steve McQueen is in more vulnerable days. In his more vulnerable days. Steve McQueen, what was he in? Oh, he was in the Blob.
He was in the original Blob, yeah.
Oh, okay. Gargoyles. I don't remember that one.
I remember that one. It was, I think that was 70s, where small town folk run into a nest of gargoyle, and are they good? Are they bad? Mostly bad. Kind of thing.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh, we could never show on YouTube. No way. Much like any Mel Brooks epic, even though it would be great to sit down and watch together, I'd love to do that. But
Chud.
No,
what did Chud stand for?
Carnivorous human underground dwellers or something like that. Was that what it was?
I don't know. I know what film it is. I remember I see that horrible face, but I don't know if I got through that whole movie. MST 3000 did the second Boggy Creek movie. The comments were funny.
Yeah, MST3K was so epic when that was showing live in the 90s. I loved it. It was all you'd gather all your friends around just there and drink and laugh.
Okay, man, so since I got everybody here, then do you guys want to see other people commenting on the bottom? Or do you just want me to do it the way I'm doing it so you can hear the comments?
You just have to get the right people so they're not doing what I'm doing right now, which is cutting you off. And there's just talk. You just want the one-liner whiz kind of thing.
It has to be quick comment and stop. Not a whole story. Know about what's going on. Or personal. It can't be any personal stuff. It just has to pertain to the movie. What the thing is there. Yeah, true to the movie, one-liner type of stuff, if everybody knew the rules, then I could let people on.
Well, you could have a variety of different guests. Just try a couple at a time, one at a time, or whatever, and then
to see how
it gives an example too. But I think a lot of it would be good therapy for a lot of good people.
Yeah, that's true.
I was talking to you. I'm not even on the show, and I'm sitting here answering your questions and following along. When you're saying a comment about something you're watching, I'm saying it right, follow it up, like, oh yeah, let's go over there and take a look at what they had. Oh yeah, let's go kill my brother. I'm gonna go back and eat him now. But just not a lot of that, just at the right times. So people just hopefully can make them laugh at home as they're watching, thinking, I'm just thinking the same thing, Yeah, totally.
Movie night 3000.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a good
time.
My
close friends was a art professor at the college here, and we'd always get together because it's legal in Canada. This is a few years back, but and we'd watch a whole show, and he would pick certain characters, like. And I'd take 3 characters, and he'd take 3 characters, and some of them would be girls, and stuff like that. But every time they would do a line, we would do their line for them. Like, we got so good at watching the show that we would take the volume, their voices away from them. But when we would just all laugh. But again, it takes some practice to do it. And again, let the movie suck you in. And that movie is a great movie if you're priming the narrative and you're into Sasquatch back in those days. Man, you were sucked right in those videos, those real life shots of those animals. You're totally sucked right in. Like, I'm just thinking, oh my God, I think I'm starting to see one of those rotating wheels, that are hypnotic, and they go into the
yes.
I believe. Yeah. I believe. Sure.
No, Raptor, thanks. I already got notified that I'm okay to do the movies as long as they're public domain Creative Commons movies. And I've got 2 different websites that there are a lot, but they seem to have the same movies on them. So I now know that, that they seem to be duplicated in each website. So, yeah, I should be fine. I am going to be notified about all the music in the background. It's going to tell me that I've got 4 or 5 hits from the music, but then it puts a little message attached that you do have permission to play this. Therefore, it does not affect your channel. And that's all that matters. No strike. And then if I go to the copyright section, there's nothing there. So we're good. As long as that's the case, and it's going to play, we're good.
As long as Skynet does not become self-aware, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah.
Too late. That's what exactly he wants you to think.
Alfred Hitchcock. I'll look up some Alfred Hitchcock. I don't think I saw any of his though.
Yeah, I doubt you'll get, because most of what are on those lists are kind of lesser known or very old, kind of
very old for sure.
B-movie.
Popeye just went into public domain, and Betty Boop.
Wow.
They both
Popeye?
There you go.
Yep. Popeye's stuff is on here now.
So, some of those old original black and white ones are a riot because he does all these little things that he says almost under his breath, and you don't really catch it at first, but when you start listening, some of that stuff is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, there is a bunch of Alfred Hitchcock.
Which ones?
Okay, wait, that's trailers. See, that's the whole issue too, is they look like they're movies, but they're trailers. Alfred Hitchcock Cinnamon Episode 6, Old Time Radio Pilots, Silhouettes, Extended Interview with Alfred Hitchcock. Wait a minute, no movies. The new Alfred Hitchcock presents something. There's Rebecca. There's a movie. 1940. Rebecca. Alfred Hitchcock.
I don't remember that one. I haven't seen what it says. I like those ones he does with crazy women. Like,
that's all.
What's her name? Yeah, totally. Yeah. What's her name? Betty
Oh,
Davis,
the shower scene. You can use the shower scene.
Oh.
From.
This is how you put chocolate on a cake, kids.
Psycho.
Do they have TV shows in there too?
Yes, they do.
Do they have the old Leonard Nimoy In Search Of series in there?
Oh, let's look it up.
Yeah, because that documentary would just fit that slot emotionally perfectly.
Exactly. Honestly, I think it was a lot of the same audio, same film stuff.
Yeah. It's spinning.
It's during the acid trip thing. It's like, is that like the Star Trek fight theme song thing?
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm starting to notice on some of the new sci-fi shows, they're using old Star Trek sound effects. I was watching one. They had the with the doors and the alarm, and I thought, really? It doesn't even sound like today's kind of sound.
It's an homage. Yeah.
But it's probably free.
No, it doesn't look like there's any In Search Of.
Because some of those were really classic back in the day. Much like how we were talking.
Did it have a name?
It was called In Search Of, and that was it.
That was it?
Yeah, In Search Of. That was it.
Yeah, that's what I put. Hold on.
They did a bunch of cryptid ones and stuff like that. The abominable snowman, a Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster. And
what about the black? What about the $6 Million Man, the Sasquatch show?
It was great.
We should watch that one. I haven't seen that one. I have pictures of the big fight scene, but that's only like 50 seconds in my brain.
I don't think
it's those were great. And there was an actual story arc when you stitch them all together that you find out.
That's what they called it back in those days. It was a story. They stitched it all together. It was a story.
You know, there's a ton of books in here you can read.
Audiobooks?
Wow. Read. You can read them.
Oh, actual books.
It pulls them up and you can turn the pages. In Search of Giants, Thomas Steenberg, Monster Hunters, Strange Animals, Bigfoot. Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of Bigfoot books in here.
I wonder if they're copywritten, because I think a lot of authors would be pretty pissed off if you can just read their book online without paying
that's
price for that.
Some of those don't really go out of style, really.
Let me see what happens. Loading viewer. It says loading view. Oh. Yep, I can read the whole. Oh no, limited preview. You have to buy it. I got 3 pages in, and then now it says your free account to borrow this book and gain access to all pages. So you have to be a member to that. Renewable every hour. Oh, in an hour I get 3 more pages.
Oh, really? Well, if you're not in a hurry.
And there's 215 pages.
Yeah.
How funny. Okay.
Using the cheap hotel thing, renting by the hour kind of deal. What kind of books are you reading, my dear?
Yeah. Wait, what else did you ask me to look up?
If they have TV shows, didn't you say there was like an Unsolved Mysteries or something like that episode you were wanting to do? Or there was some TV show you mentioned that there was a specific episode that had Bigfoot stuff in it.
Encounters. It was Encounters.
That was
that one's
80s,
here.
early 90s show.
But I didn't look up the whole.
They had a lot. That's a lot of UFO and alien stuff on that show.
Tetra Encounters, Romantic Encounters, Space Encounters, Alien Space Encounters. Wait, I gotta hit movies. Okay, I have to hit that. That way it'll. I don't know any of these names. Oh, there's the Bigfoot one. Mars. No. Yeah, no. Some of these are weird. Don't know any of these names.
While you're looking that up, I remember when I was a kid actually going to the theaters in the 70s with my friends from school, where we watched a film where it was specifically about, it was actually, I want to say it was actually called Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and there was a third cryptid. It might have even just been UFOs or something like that, or Abominable Snowman or something like that. I've never heard of it since then, because that was the name of the thing. It was just the 3 cryptids. But I remember sitting there just totally captivated by it, watching it as a kid, very much like how tonight's presentation was. I don't remember any details, like that, but it was kind of in the same vein of miles of stock footage and, a lot of exposition by experts. So,
what is this? Twilight Zone, the movie, 1983. John Landis. Oh, directed by.
Yeah.
That's
the one with where Lithgow does Terror at 20,000 feet. Where redoing the Shatner role of "There's a man on the wing" bit.
Oh, what'd I do? I was looking up Twilight Zone, but I don't think it's the Twilight Zone Sci-Fi Channel, July 2005. Golden Earring, what's that?
It's a band.
Doom, 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 doom. I know that song. Is it a movie? No, it's 4 minutes, so whatever it is. It is that song. Oh my goodness. That means I can play it. Hold on. That means I can play it.
No freaking way you can play that.
Wait. Where is it? Here it is. Is it this one? Okay, there you go. That's great.
There's no way you're not going to get a copyright strike on that music. No way.
Yeah, no, I will. I absolutely will. But I can play it. It won't be a strike. It'll be, oh, shoot. What'd I do with it? I got to grab that first before I leave here. I've got to grab all this info right here. Oops. Okay. So,
is that like part of your rebuttal? You have to put all that stuff in there and saying, "Oh no, this is common,
yeah,
or whatever it is."
That's oops. Where'd you guys go? We don't know. There you are. We'll see what happens.
That 38 that was being held like this.
It'll give me the option to just clip that out if it's bad. So I'll just take it out.
Yeah. Leave that at the end.
Yeah, right at the end. Are you out? I think I'm going to bring it to a close.
I'm talking, and my mic's off. I have no idea mic's. I'm blah, blah, blah. Oh. I got to get going because I have to get ready for the conference tomorrow, and I want to make sure I have pretty solid my brain. So thanks for the great show. See you again.
Yep.
And
see you guys on Sunday. Don't forget about the show on Sunday. I'm having Henry May coming on.
Mother's Day on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
Your family's not taking anywhere for Mother's Day? That doesn't sound very.
We got all day. My show's not till 5.
Well, they should be taking it for supper or our concerts or something. There. Tell them I said that.
Yeah.
Don't love
I think I used up all my Mother's Day points on getting to go to Washington. So I'm not asking for anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So
good night, Angel. I love you both of you. What you guys do with your extra activities in your videos, just to let you know. It's very nice and refreshing. More people need to do it. So Okay. Yeah. Look, I look like a Bigfoot researcher because I got the rip top of the hat. Happened today. You guys got to watch another
goodness.
first.
You're official.
No more diapers. I mowed
we
my
need
yard
to send up
today.
a GoFundMe for Leon's hat.
I know. Yep, take it all back. It was all a waste of time over the last 2 years.
You need the big bent hook there to hold it all together.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Totally. I should get like a totally. Yeah. I'll figure something out. Maybe put a light on there, a camera for when I'm filming.
I'm gonna find that exact hat. I'm gonna find that exact hat, and I'm gonna send it to you.
It's it's an actual Ducks Unlimited hat. It's an official Ducks Unlimited hat. So it's not just your normal one you would purchase. You have to get it from Ducks Unlimited specifically.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, love you guys. Be sure to leave your picks for movies for next week in the comments. Okay. And don't forget to hit that like button and share. Tell everybody we're having a blast over here watching these movies. And we shall see you Sunday, 5 p.m. Mountain. Love you guys. Bye.